Otagakure. Orochimaru was cursing every single fiber of Naruto's being. Orochimaru was considering if he should keep Naruto alive for his purposes, or kill him for destroying the chakra network on his arm. The moment his chakra network was destroyed, he lost the ability to mold chakra in that arm, preventing him from doing hand seals, and as such preventing him from doing any type of jutsus that required hand seals. Kabuto has studied his arm and tried to heal it, but you can't heal something that doesn't exist. With his level of knowledge, Kabuto didn't stand a chance at doing anything to heal his master. Of course, Orochimaru had a solution, which was to swap bodies, but he wanted to wait for a very special body that he felt was getting closer and closer. He could feel all of Sasuke's hate and hunger for vengeance, and soon enough, he would belong to Orochimaru. "I'm sorry, Lord Orochimaru, but this type of wound is beyond me," Kabuto replied sadly, and Orochimaru cursed the blonde. Everything was good until he showed up, and the barrier he placed didn't even slow him down, but above all else, he had the eyes Orochimaru always wanted, the Mangekyo Sharingan. "It can't be helped. There is only one person that might be able to heal me," Orochimaru said, sweating. Losing the chakra network in his arm placed him in constant pain as his cells weren't properly fed. "And who might that be?" Kabuto asked as he pushed the glasses of his face up. "My former teammate, Tsunade Senju," Orochimaru replied with a glint in his eyes. He knew exactly what it would take to convince her. "Contact our spies. We are leaving now," Orochimaru ordered. Konoha's Dango stand. A few days had passed since Naruto, Hinata, and Jiraiya left in search for Naruto's grandmother, Tsunade Senju, so she could return to the village to become Sarutobi's successor, the 5th Hokage. The constructions around the village were progressing very well, as they didn't receive much damage. The most important buildings were protected by Naruto's barrier seals, allowing the hospital and other buildings to remain working non-stop. In the middle of Konoha, more precisely in the Dango stand, Dango spent most of her time in, were two cloaked persons inside drinking a bit of tea and eating dango since it was a dango stand. Both of them had long, high-collared black cloaks with red clouds on them. On top of their heads, straw hats with a small bell hanging by a small red wire. These two unknown members actually belonged to an organization called the Akatsuki that were after the Bijus like the one in Naruto, but no one knew that. "Have you heard the news?" one civilian asked, and both Akatsuki members focused on the conversation. Called the Akatsuki that were after the Bijus like the one in Naruto, but no one knew that. "Have you heard the news?" one civilian asked, and both Akatsuki members focused on the conversation. Believe it or not, listening to civilians talking is a very good way to scout for information. "About what?" one of the civilians replied. "That brat, Naruto Uzumaki, is now Naruto Senju. Apparently he's the heir of the Senju clan, and the great-grandson of the first Hokage," the civilian said. "Did you hear that? Itachi," the Akatsuki member asked, his partner now identified as Itachi. Itachi Uchiha, the prodigy of the Uchiha clan, the one that butchered all of them except his little brother a few years ago. "Yes, Kisame, is new revelations. We must inform our leader," Itachi replied in his monotone voice, and Kisame nodded. "You don't say, but I thought he was an Uchiha since he has the Sharingan," the civilian replied, and Itachi's eyes widened, revealing a pair of blood-red eyes with 3 tongues on it. "I think you missed one a couple years ago," Kisame said, chuckling. It was fun to see at least some emotion coming off from Itachi since he was always stoic and didn't say much. "Interesting. How can Naruto have the Sharingan?" Itachi mused and thought. "I know for certainty that I killed all of my clan, minus my foolish little brother. Neither Kushina nor Minato had the Sharingan. Is that the Kyuubi?" Itachi thought as he ran through all the various scenarios in his head to explain. "What do you think it's so hard about?" Kisame asked in an amused tone. "I don't understand how Naruto could be an Uchiha. It doesn't add up," Itachi replied. "Well, if you listened to what they were saying, you would know. Apparently, the brat is the grandson of Madara Uchiha," Kisame said, and Itachi froze. He never said anything about having a grandson. If he had a grandson, he would most likely use him to achieve his goals. Kushina didn't give off chakra similar to an Uchiha, which only leads me to conclude that it was Minato, Itachi thought. Minato never showed his Sharingan, and yet he was a force to be reckoned with. Deception. The true way of the shinobi, Itachi thought, chuckling to himself. He was considered a genius amongst geniuses, a prodigy that appears once every 100 years. Very similar to Minato, but it appears Minato won the pool. This is very interesting indeed, Itachi said as they continued to listen to their conversation. A few minutes later, another civilian said something that caught their attention. It's a good thing that the third is retiring. He did so much for our village, he deserves to rest, the civilian said. Yeah, and that chosen 5th Hokage was Tsunade Senju, the civilian said. Looks like the Hokage title falls into the Senju once again, the civilian replied. I know, the other replied, chuckling. Lord Jiraiya left with Naruto and so they could find her and bring her back, the civilian said. Looks like we lucked out, the QB just left town, Kisame said sadly. He was hoping to feed a good portion of chakra to his Samehada. Yes, let's leave before we are discovered, Itachi replied, and both of them stood up and left the stand. Both members were walking through the village, making their way out of the village, when they came across two familiar faces to Itachi at least. You aren't from the village, right? Asuma asked, weary of the unidentified males in front of them. Why are you here? Asuma asked. Long time no see, Asuma, Kurenai, Itachi said in his monotone voice. If you know who we are, then you must be a shinobi from this village, Asuma said. Itachi simply raised his hat slightly to allow them to see his blood-red eyes. The moment they saw his eyes, they both tensed. Itachi, Uchiha? Asuma asked, and Itachi dropped his hat and let his hair flow with the wind, locking eyes with the two Jonins in front of them. You know these people, Itachi? Kisame asked, and also dropped his hat. Then I'll present myself. Kisame Hoshigaki, a pleasure to meet you, Kisame said. You dare show your face after what you've done? Asuma asked as he kept his guard up. Even with Kurenai, he didn't know if he could take him on, and his companion wouldn't help at all. I'm gonna end you both, Asuma said. Itachi, it looks like you're hated in this village, Kisame said, chuckling. I know who you are, Kurenai said, eyeing Kisame. Kisame Hoshigaki, former member of the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist, Kurenai informed. You are in a lot of trouble for coming here, Itachi, Asuma said. Don't get involved in my work. I have no intention of killing you, Itachi said. You are the type of person to return here without a goal. What is it that you want from the village? Asuma said. You are annoying, Kisame said, and took his sword out and hit the ground, making chunks fly and a bit of dust rise. Should I kill them? Kisame asked Itachi. It appears we aren't leaving without a fight, Itachi said. The moment Itachi said that, Kisame picked his sword up and tried to hit Asuma, who jumped back to avoid it. Asuma took out his trench knives and blocked the next sword swing. Kurenai used the cover that Asuma gave her and went through hand seals, disappearing into thin air. Genjutsu, Itachi thought as he used his Sharingan to analyze the battle. Asuma was starting to sweat as he was being pushed by the sword. Kisame was a lot stronger than he let on, and that was with only a single hand. My Samehada doesn't cut. It shreds, Kisame said, and pulled his sword back, shredding through Asuma's skin and drawing blood, making him wince in pain. Meanwhile, Kurenai had her Genjutsu ready. You're late, Kurenai, Asuma said, nursing his arm. The moment Asuma said that, the ground around Kisame started to melt, and he was trapped and unable to move. Behind Itachi, a tree suddenly sprouted from the ground and snared him in place. Kurenai emerged from the tree with a kunai in hand, getting ready to kill him. This is the end for you, Kurenai said, and moments later she realized that she was the one pinned to the tree, and was watching Itachi run towards her with a blade at hand. Kurenai bit her lip and used the pain to break the illusion. The moment she broke it, she ducked under a horizontal slash from Itachi's blade. Itachi saw Kurenai duck and gave her a kick that she blocked, but was sent towards a nearby river nonetheless. Kurenai, Asuma shouted, concerned with her. You don't have time to look away, Kisame said. Meanwhile, on top of the river. That was very good, Kurenai, Itachi said as he quickly appeared next to her at the river. But, Itachi said if I was interrupted. But, this is the end for you, another voice said from behind Itachi. He turned around to come face to face with Kakashi himself. Asuma was dodging swing after swing until he saw an opening and tried to slash with his knives that gave Kisame a small cut through his cheek. As a reply, Kisame started going through hand seals and said, Water style, water dragon jutsu, Kisame said. From the river, a water dragon erupted and went towards Asuma. Out of nowhere came another dragon of equal strength that clashed with the one from Kisame, destroying each other. The same jutsu, Kisame asked, surprised. Why are you here? Asuma asked. I thought you might need a hand, Kakashi replied. Suddenly Itachi's hand flew out of his jacket with shurikens ready to throw. Kakashi jumped back and said, "Water wall." A water wall rose up around Kakashi, blocking 4 water drills. Apparently, the shurikens were a mirror of a distraction for Kakashi. He's fast. I barely saw the hand steals, Kakashi thought as he analyzed the powerful opponent in front of him. Very good. You are skilled with that eye of yours, Itachi said right before Shadow Clone. From Itachi came behind Kakashi and stabbed him with a kunai. Kakashi burst into water, revealing it to be a simple water clone. Water clone? Kisame asked, amazed. He knows so many jutsus from my village, Kisame thought. Itachi was looking for Kakashi when something caught his attention. He looked down only to see Kakashi giving Kurenai a kunai. But the moment Kurenai was about to attack one of the Itachis in the river, Kakashi tackled her just before the clone exploded. "Kakashi! Kurenai!" Asuma yelled as he also jumped into the river. The water was coming down from the explosion and showed a slightly scorched Kakashi and an unharmed Kurenai and Asuma. Be careful with him, he became an Anbu captain at 13 years old, Kakashi explained. I didn't expect him to be this strong, Asuma said, surprised. No, he is yet to show his true strength, Kakashi explained. You are really skilled in Sharingan, even though you aren't an Uchiha, Itachi said. He's right, I tire easily, Kakashi thought. Sharingan, the true power of the Sharingan. I'm about to show you why the Uchiha clan was feared and unparalleled in power, Itachi said just before his eyes opened very slowly. This is bad. If his powers are what Naruto told me about, then we are in big trouble, Kakashi thought. Guys, close your eyes. No matter what happens, don't open them, Kakashi yelled, stressing every word. Only a Sharingan user can fight him, Kakashi explained. It's true that a Sharingan user can't resist it, but you can't counter this technique with it, Itachi explained, just before he locked eyes with Kakashi. Tsukuyomi world. The moment Itachi pronounced that single word, Kakashi was drawn into another world. The sky was red, and the clouds and sun were black. Kakashi was pinned to a cross, trying his best to break the illusion. Don't overexert yourself. This technique is unbreakable. In here, I'm God and control everything. 3 days in here, about 3 seconds in the real world, Itachi explained, as he had a sword on his hand, and it was clear what he was going to do to Kakashi. Suddenly, Itachi stabbed Kakashi in the gut, and he yelled in pain. Itachi suddenly multiplied, and all of them had swords and started stabbing Kakashi as well. 71 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds remaining, Itachi said, as Kakashi was healed, and he started stabbing again. Real world, 3 seconds later. What happened? Asuma asked as he felt Kakashi wince in pain but didn't know what happened. His mind held on. Kisame asked, surprised to see Kakashi still standing, but taking hard breaths. It seemed a miracle that he had managed to stand. But Itachi, it's dangerous to use those eyes, Kisame said. By the looks of it, Naruto was right, Kakashi thought. Are you after Sasuke? Kakashi asked, his voice strained by the genjutsu he just suffered. No, Itachi replied. We are looking for the 4th legacy, Itachi replied in his traditional monotone voice. You're from the Akatsuki, aren't you? Kakashi asked, surprising everyone in there. Kisame, we are taking Kakashi with us, Itachi suddenly said, and Kisame dashed towards him, only to be intercepted by a fierce kick from Konoha's green beast, Guy. Who are you? Kisame asked as he regained his footing. Konoha's green beast. Guy Maito, Guy replied, with his teeth sparkling as he took his Goken stance. Look at you. Perhaps you meant to say fool, Kisame taunted, but Itachi cut him off, saying, Don't underestimate him. Suddenly Kakashi fell to the water and started sinking, only to be caught by Guy. Open your eyes, Guy said to Asuma and Kurenai. But Kakashi, Kurenai said, but was cut off. Just don't look at his eyes, focus on his legs and arms and fight from there, Guy explained, as they both opened their eyes, but it seemed that they were always drawn to lock eyes with Itachi. Easier said than done, Asuma said. Kisame, we are leaving. We didn't come here to start a war, Itachi said, and they both disappeared in a blur. "They're gone. I'm taking Kakashi to the hospital," Guy said, and disappeared as well, with Sasuke. Sasuke was currently in the Uchiha compound in one of the many training grounds, taking out his frustrations on some unlucky wooden dummy. He was frustrated from everything he learned during the council meeting. That Naruto just seemed to have everything. Sharingan, Sasuke remembered as he drove a fist through the wooden dummy, destroying the right arm. Madara Uchiha, Sasuke remembered, and gave an open palm strike and severed the dummy's head. Senju, Sasuke remembered, and gave it a spin kick and destroyed both legs, leaving only the torso left. Pure blood, Sasuke seethed and charged at Chidori and completely obliterated the dummy, leaving nothing but bits and chunks on the ground. The once mighty wooden dummy was no more. Sasuke took a couple of deep breaths, trying his best to calm himself. He went towards his house to take a bath to clean the sweat from the training session until he remembered something. When you awake your Sharingan, go to the main house and look beneath the 7th tatami mat on the far right. That is where our clan used to meet. In there, you will find your answers, Sasuke remembered. One of the last things Itachi ever said to him, just after he massacred the clan, leaving only him behind. Sasuke quickly made his way towards the main hall. Since his clan demise, he only used his house, and the other buildings were just gathering dust. He quickly arrived at the main house and made his way towards the meeting hall. He counted 7 tatamis from the far right. He removed the 7th, and beneath it was a small staircase that seemed to go in deep beneath the main building. He quickly made his way down, but it was pitch black. He scanned his surroundings and used a small fire jutsu to light the torches. He suddenly came face to face with a big stone wall, and by the looks of it, it seemed very sturdy and heavy. But Sasuke noticed the Sharingan design in the middle of it and quickly activated his. What seemed to be an empty wall now had writing on it. He quickly performed the hand seals instructed in the wall, and stone moved to the side, allowing entrance to the chambers. Apparently, only someone with a Sharingan was allowed entrance to such place. Sasuke entered the new room, and as he expected, it was empty and dark. But the Sharingan enabled him to see better at night, so he found the torches and lit them. The moment the torches flared to life, Sasuke saw a big room with a tablet in the middle. Behind the tablet, a wall with the Uchiha fan in it. Sasuke used his Sharingan and looked very carefully at the tablet. It seemed that he could only read bits and pieces, but from what he could read, it clearly stated that there was another level above the Sharingan, and it was the Mangekyo Sharingan. Maybe the more advanced the eyes, the more I can read, Sasuke pondered and thought, as he was using the Sharingan to read what was written on the tablet. Everything the tablet said was exactly like Itachi had said about his eyes. Sasuke knew he needed to achieve the next level of his eyes, so he could go up against his brother and defeat him. Interesting enough, the tablet said nothing about the half-blood and pure-blood Uchiha, so Sasuke wondered just how old this tablet was. I'll need every bit of power I can get to defeat him. With Naruto, Hinata, and Jiraiya, a few days had passed since they left Konoha. As they were going towards the town, Jiraiya had received info from his spy network. According to his spies, Tsunade was last seen in a small town in the Land of Fire called Tanzaku. One interesting fact is, don't for a moment think that Jiraiya won't be a pervert around you, even when you sleep. This particular fact was a surprise to Naruto and Hinata, since both of them got a room for them and Jiraiya was left with one to himself. Jiraiya, being the pervert that he was, thought that Naruto might be getting something with his girlfriend, as he used his infiltration jutsu to infiltrate Naruto's room with his notepad ready to write. Not a good idea, and to try and spy on someone who has the Sharingan and the Byakugan that can spot anyone using chakra. As such, he was once again in the receiving end of Hinata's juking techniques, and Naruto's defense seals zapping the poor pervert. They were approaching the town Jiraiya heard about. They had been walking a couple of hours now, and they were starting to see the town on the horizon. This town was famous for having a huge castle in the middle. So Naruto, are you working on some new technique? Jiraiya asked, wanting any details. If he had the same mind as his father's, then any technique would be worth learning. Actually, yes, I'm working on recreating the lightning armor since I saw the basics during the battle against Orochimaru. I can already channel lightning chakra through my synapses to further increase my reaction time. But the outer shell is a bit tricky, Naruto explained, and Jiraiya was stunned. You do realize that that's an S-rank jutsu, right? Jiraiya asked. I know, that's why I'm trying to recreate it. I think I'm rather good with lightning jutsus. I'll get it down eventually, Naruto said, and Jiraiya nodded. His father was the same. When he got some jutsu idea on his head, it would stay there until solved. How about in the meantime, you improve the Rasengan? Jiraiya said, and Naruto got a confused look. Improve? My father's notes didn't say anything about a better Rasengan, Naruto asked, and Jiraiya nodded. Your father created the Rasengan, intending to add his elemental affinity to it, but it might be a jump to do that, so why don't you get a bigger Rasengan by pumping more chakra into it, Jiraiya said, and Naruto pondered. The Rasengan itself was an A-ring jutsu. If he created a bigger one, it would go towards S-ring, and adding elemental affinity, it would most likely be a one-shot kill. And Odama Rasengan, Naruto asked for confirmation, and Jiraiya nodded. So I just pump more chakra into it, Naruto asked, and Jiraiya nodded again. How much more? Naruto asked. How about you try with twice the chakra and go from there, Jiraiya said, and Naruto nodded. As they were walking, Naruto decided to try and do an Odama Rasengan. They were walking and Naruto was focusing chakra to his hand. He started spinning the first round of chakra and immediately created a layer to compress it, and easily reached the normal Rasengan. He started pouring more chakra into it and the ball started glowing even more. Sensing no strain in containing it, he continued to add chakra, and he was easily reaching the double the normal Rasengan size. He was about to tell Jiraiya he managed to double the amount when the Rasengan suddenly destabilized and exploded in his hand. The result of the explosion created a shockwave that sent everyone tumbling to the ground as he didn't expect the backlash from the jutsu. His Rasengan seemed just fine a few minutes ago. Damn it, rat, Jiraiya said. How about you train it away from us, Hinata asked, and she got up and dusted off her clothes. My bad, Naruto said, chuckling and rubbing the back of his head. We've almost arrived at town. How about you keep the training for later, Jiraiya said. Away from us, Jiraiya stressed, and Naruto's sweat dropped. It was a little shockwave after all. Fine, Naruto said, pouting as he couldn't train this new technique right away. He might be strong, but he's still a brat, Jiraiya said, shaking his head. But he isn't strong enough to take on Kage-level shinobi alone, though he has techniques to run away, Jiraiya thought, as he was thinking of what he should teach Naruto. They arrived at the gate and entered the city. Hinata and Naruto were marveled by all the activity going on, and all the people having fun in the various stands available. They didn't leave the village much, and only started after they became genin. Let's go to a hotel and sleep for the night. We'll start searching tomorrow, Jiraiya stated, and they both nodded. They were calmly walking through the town, completely unaware of two presences after them. They were keeping their distance and pressing their chakra level so they wouldn't be detected. Looks like the information was accurate. He did leave the village with Jiraiya, but I don't know the girl, Kisame said as he watched the three of them check into a hotel. The girl's name is Hinata Hyuga, and she was the Hyuga's heiress, but she was expelled from the clan, Itachi calmly explained. She doesn't seem like much, Kisame said as he watched her. She seemed like a fragile doll. We're shinobi. Don't underestimate her. She was promoted to Chunin along with Naruto. We don't have much info on her, so tread carefully, even if she seems weak, Itachi explained. He was always the prudent one, while Kisame tended to jump in, guns blazing. Fine, but even we can't take on Jiraiya, Kisame said. Indeed, let's find some girls, Itachi said, and Kisame's jaw dropped. You wanna get laid? Kisame asked, and Itachi got a tick mark. I heard about Jiraiya's obsession for women. It's our best choice to distract him long enough for us to get Naruto, Itachi explained, and Kisame nodded. What about the girl? Kisame asked. She is irrelevant, although it appears that Naruto is very close to her. Notice how he walks close to her, yet he's slightly ahead of her, as if shielding her, and he's ready to jump into action at any time, Itachi analyzed. He seems close to her, so we might use her for our advantage, Itachi said, and Kisame nodded. Let's go, Kisame said, and they both disappeared in a blur.